here bringing you a few tips about the UBE bar exam. I took the UBE bar exam in July of 2020. I started studying for the exam in May of 2020. So I graduated, I believe, May 9th, 2020, and started my early bar prep a week before actual bar prep, which was, I believe, May 12th, maybe that Monday after I graduated. And I graduated, I didn't even have a graduation. Coronavirus. Which is fine, but I started studying my early bar prep on May 12th of 2020, and the day before the bar exam, or a couple days before the bar exam, so to about July 27th. About 9 weeks, 8.5 to 9 weeks of studying is the amount of time you should allot to studying for the bar exam. I know people can start later, and if you do start later, you just have to put in more hours into your study time than the normal allotted hours. I believe the allotted hours are 400 hours at maximum, and 40 hours a week at maximum. I didn't do that many hours. I just kept to a study schedule, but we'll get there. First and foremost, the first tip that I will give is your mindset. Make sure that your mindset is on a winner's mindset, that you will succeed. You should have the mindset that I will succeed. I will pass this exam. This is just a hurdle that I have to jump over to get to another destination. I've been to a few mentors and people prior to taking the exam, and they said that their peers or even themselves, they didn't pass the first time, was because they had a mindset as to where they thought that, oh, I can never do this. This is too hard. This is too many hours. I can't make it. Although the bar exam is a dedication, you have to be dedicated to it. It is hard. That doesn't mean it can't be done. I've done it. Many people have done it in the past. Many people will continue to do it. You watching this video will pass the bar exam 100%. I have 100% faith, and I think 60, if not 75% of passing the exam is mindset. That's why I'm telling you this first. If I let my thoughts or doubts overcrowd my mind, then I probably would not have passed. So my first piece of advice is your mindset. You have to have the mindset set that I will pass this exam. No matter what, I'm going to pass. Number two, I would say, is to have a study schedule. The reason why I say you should have a study schedule is because it keeps you organized. You know what you're going to do the day before. You know what you're going to do the week before that day. You know what you're going to do throughout the 8 weeks. So if you want to tweak your schedule at any point, or if you change it, you can easily. You don't want to wake up every day during bar prep not knowing what you're going to do, because you're going to BS your day and then eventually figure out, okay, maybe I should do a practice exam or multiple choice or watch a bar prep video. Although those are things that you should be doing, it should be put into your study schedule when you're going to be doing those things. And you can miss a day on your study schedule. It's not the end of the world. Just work it into your study schedule another day. But don't feel as though if you miss something in your schedule that you can't do other things. You can just get back to it, whether it be finishing up a family law video and you just weren't feeling family law that day. You can skip it and go do some multiple choice questions, because I didn't want to let my brain get too tired, so focused on one subject. The subject I didn't necessarily like much was conflict. I think it was conflict of laws. Conflict of laws was so boring. So it was very hard to get into it, and there was a lot going on. I didn't take the class in law school, but when I got there, I was like, okay, I have to watch something else. And I believe there are a few other subjects that were just so hard to get through. But I mean, eventually you do have to get through them, and you should get through those videos. Once you can pause on that and do flashcards, figure out some mnemonic devices, do something else to engage your brain into the bar prep stuff. And go to a subject that you actually like. If there's a subject that you liked in law school that you want to just go over because you feel like that is where that is going to keep me engaged right now, do that. But eventually do go back to the boring stuff, because you have to learn the boring stuff to eventually pass the exam. Number 3 would be practice exams. Me, I had to practice the exams with a mask on. Terrible, but I did it, and it was because the reason why I had to study for the exam with a mask on. The reason why I had to study with a mask on is because I knew on the day of exam day I was going to have to wear a mask, because it was required that the students sitting for the exam, or the applicants sitting for the exam, would have to wear masks. So I had to study and do my practice exams with the mask on, and I still did it. But at least in your study schedule, put in 1 to 2 practice tests a week. I would do 1 practice exam a week. 1 practice exam a week gives you the opportunity to just flex your skills, work on those muscles, and allow yourself to completely get engaged and understand how exam day is going to be like. And even if you don't feel fully prepared to take the practice exam, there are so many practice exams that even if you do take this one and you're not fully prepared for all of it, you at least see and can understand how taking the exam will be on exam day. So with the practice exams, make sure when you are taking the practice exams, you are looking at the answers that you put, and you're looking at, even if you did get it right, understand why you got it right. Because on the essays, you have to explain yourself. You have to read different scenarios. You have to read different legal scenarios, different random hypotheticals, and you have to understand how and why you would get to a point, like as if you're a judge, your opinion, you C-RAC. So even if it is multiple choice, you go back and read, okay, why did I get this right and why did I get it wrong? Because once you understand why you got it right or wrong, you understand the whole entire equation, you understand the whole entire question, you understand the whole entire scenario, and you can explain yourself, you can even explain to others. That's another technique that I use and I can make that the next tip. Number 4 is making your own hypotheticals and actually reading situations out to yourself and thinking about situations. I could be in Home Depot and I start thinking about personal injury hypotheticals. Someone can be talking to me about a business idea and I will be thinking about corporations, partnerships. I would try to make my everyday life into a legal scenario or into a bar exam essay question. And consistently trying to work my muscles during the day and attach it to certain things so I understand the law better. My next tip would be mnemonic devices. Using mnemonic devices to remember terms of law, remember a huge group of things. If you need to remember like family law, what's required for parents to keep their children, I believe, what the court looks at when they're trying to decide custody. I think there's a whole list of things that the court looks at when they're trying to determine who they want to give custody to. And I made a mnemonic for that. I got, actually, there was a question on the 2020 UBE bar exam that asked, it was a custody scenario, and they said one of the parts of the essay was who should the court give custody to, and the question is really asking you, what are they going to look at? They're going to be looking at this factor, that factor, this factor. I think mnemonics really helped me. Once you use mnemonic devices that are random and quirky, or that you can understand only yourself, something that you will remember, it helps. So my next piece of advice would be to limit the amount of things that you study from. There are loads of information out there. There is a lot of information that you can find on any subject on the bar exam. So it can be overwhelming seeing so many things and not knowing where to start. So limit and understand what you will be studying from and focus on your strong subjects. Big thing is to focus on your strong subjects. If you know you're not good at family law, then don't focus on family law. Focus on torts, or focus on criminal law. Whatever your main thing is, focus on that and build on top of those strengths and understand your weaknesses as well. There's just too much information for the bar exam, you won't know everything. So when you limit the amount of things that you study from, then you allow yourself to build on your strengths. So I studied with Barbary, Adaptive Bar, and I did my practice exams, I believe, and outlines as well. Barbary, adaptive bar, outlines. Mnemonic devices and memory techniques are things that I did on the side. Sometimes when I just didn't feel like studying, I would use a whiteboard as well, write some things down on the whiteboard. I remember I learned some criminal law terms using the whiteboard, and mnemonic devices for lots of information that I want to pack into my brain. But mainly, don't try to use too much. Don't try to read textbooks. Don't try to read case law. Just be very specific. The bar exam is very specific. They're looking for a few things, and they want to know that you understand these things. I think the level of what they're testing on the bar exam is whether you know enough law to be a practicing attorney. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be an expert in every field, but you have to know enough of the law in each subject of the law. You know what I mean? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Another big one, another huge tip is to stay off of social media. I think my first few days, it was hard. I asked people, I was like, how did you stay off social media? How did you do it? But it's kind of just one of those decisions where you make a choice. And the two choices are, do you want to be an attorney, or do you want to take the bar exam twice? It's not worth it just to look at pictures and videos of people who either already took the exam or don't have as much responsibilities as you. So you might be jealous, like my friends are having fun, but you're just not in that place right now. So understand that you're not in the place that you need to be on social media. Social media will always be there. Trust me, I am a living testimony of leaving social media many times and coming back and just understanding that the same thing and the same people and everything it's going to be there, and it's not going to change, at least not much. And it hasn't stopped anything for me. I'm still making something shake on social media no matter what type of time I take off. Even if you're an influencer or someone who does make money on social media, I would think a lot about your content creation and the type of content that you want to put out around that time. Or you can even tell your audience that I am taking some time off, and people will be very understanding of that. People were understanding of that for me as well. You have to make a choice, social media or your law license. So I think the choice is easy at that point. Once you start making your life about decisions, life becomes very, very easy. You realize that it's either one or the other, and the outcome is usually one of the other, and it makes things easier for you. And it made it easy for me once I viewed social media in that light. I would come on from time to time. I'll send a tweet here and there, or I'll look at a few stories sometimes when I'm just like, I'm tired of social media. I'm tired of this bar exam study. I need something else. I just need to free my brain. So I'll re-download Instagram or re-download Twitter and be on it for a few hours and just not go back on it for a few days, weeks, and be very disciplined in that sense. You have to be very disciplined. So lastly, I'm just gonna give a few last minute tips that I can just think of off the top of my head. One of them would be is to do not compare yourself to other people. Everybody's journey is different. You have your own story, and comparison is the thief of joy. Once you start comparing yourself to others, then you have lost. And another thing is to don't feel as though that you have to finish all of the Barbary hours or whatever bar prep Kaplan, whatever bar prep program that you are using. Don't feel as though that you have to finish all of the hours. I believe I was given that advice from an attorney. Another last minute tip that I can think of is to make sure that you eat, make sure that you're taking your breaks, make sure that if you're spiritual, make sure that you're praying. I was huge into my faith, praying every day, and I still to this day, very, very thankful. And it helps you keep a peace of mind. Having a peace of mind is very, very important. Like I started the video saying your mindset, that's very important. So once you make sure you take your breaks, make sure you're eating, make sure you're talking to your family and friends. Do not cut everybody off, but you have to also cut a lot of people off. I'm going to go into that next. That's going to be my last actual tip. Make sure that you are cutting those off that are holding you back, those that you feel are either jealous of you, or you feel that aren't necessarily as supportive. Even friends that may be supportive, but they don't understand how huge it is to have to take the bar exam. Some people might not see it as what it actually is, and it's huge. Passing the bar exam determines whether or not you most likely get a job. It determines whether or not you become licensed in your state. It determines whether or not you can practice law. And that's huge, and some people don't see it as big as you. So those people you don't need to be around. As harsh as it may sound, it's only going to benefit you in the future. And those people will most likely come around once you cut them off. They'll come around afterwards when they realize why you had to cut them off and why you had to become secluded and really focus on yourself. The decision becomes easier. Back to making positive decisions and decisions that will put you in a better position for the future. So making sure you know who to keep around as well. You don't have to cut off everybody. You have to have people that you can rely on. I had friends that I can call. I had friends that took me out to eat. I had friends that sent me money for lunch, whatever it may be. Well, I have like 3 close friends, and those are the friends that I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be many. Make sure you just have strong shoulders on your team. If you have soldiers that are ready to make sure that you pass the exam as well, then you're set. You're completely set up. You know that if anything's wrong, if I feel defeated, I can call this person, that person, and that person. Don't expect everybody to be on your side. I did not have many people. I didn't have many people, honestly, other than my very close friends text me and make sure that I was okay, and even people that I didn't hear from until after I even passed the exam. People that I thought would be there for me during the exam weren't even there for me until after I announced that I passed the exam, or I said that I took the exam. So make sure that you understand that some people might not even be there for you. So you have to be your #1 supporter. You have to be the person to push yourself. You can have these people on your side, but even if you don't have these people on your side, you are your #1 supporter. You know what you can do, you know what you're capable of, and you know what your goals are. If your goal is to pass this exam, nothing anybody does or says can take that from you or stop you from getting to it. And understand that. Understand that it's about you and your goals at the end of the day. So if people aren't supportive, people aren't on that journey, they can catch you when you make it. They can catch you later. They'll always be there, but the moment in time, such as the time to study for the exam, is such a huge investment money-wise. I mean, you went to law school. Hello. You have a law degree. Hello. You applied to take the bar exam. Hello. You paid to take the bar exam, and you actually sat there and studied for the bar exam. So if anybody's not supporting that dream, if anybody's not supporting you, then they do not need to be in your life. And and that's it. I mean, that's what life is about. You should make those hard decisions and understand that they are the right decision. So that is about it. If you made it this far in this video, please subscribe to my channel. I will have more videos like these. I will have more videos in regards to law, in regards about me. And yeah, I might make a part 2 to this video if I feel like I left something out, or if people ask me more questions about specific things, then I will make a part 2 to the video. But as far as right now, these are the only things that I can think of. And if there's anything else that I do think I missed, then I will add that into the description box. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. I'm on a lot of social media platforms, and I'm usually engaged in all of them. I am Lawyer Liss at LAWYERLISS. Or send me a message, repost my video, tag me. I usually respond to most, if not all, DMs. Yeah, reach out to me. Let me know if you have any personal questions, if you need any type of specific advice that I didn't cover in this video. Just let me know. DM me, comment on the video, and I will get to it when I can.